Hey everybody, it's Kelly with Inky Hands Warm Hearts. How are you guys? I am here with you today with another video. I'm excited to be here with you and I hope that you will enjoy this. This is the card that I will be showing you how to make today. It is a beautiful card in gray granite. This color is so pretty. It's kind of like a taupe or taupe. I don't know how to say that word, but it's like a gray brown and it is so pretty. I love how that turned out. This paper is amazing. It's from the Sun Prints DSP and it is awesome. This whole week I'm going to be using Nature's Prints bundle, and it is this stamp set right here and this set of dies. I love this label and the dies. We're not going to use that today. I did use it on yesterday's though, so check it out. These dies cut out the different leaves that are in here. This wreath is gorgeous. These little extra pieces. It's just a beautiful, beautiful bundle. I paired it today with the stylish shapes. I'm addicted to this set of dies, and if you watch my channel at all, you will notice that I use them constantly. These circles, these banners, and today I'm going to be using the squares with the banners. So it is really, really a cool die set, and it was new to the annual catalog in May, and I have just used it a ton since I purchased it. It is well worth the money because you will use it over and over again as well. So definitely check it out because I think you will absolutely love it. And let's go ahead and get started. I also added this fern 3D embossing folder. See how beautiful these fern pieces are? And that is on the inside. You see this strip right here? That is with that fern 3D folder. I just thought it added a really beautiful line on the inside of our card. So I added that in there. So those are the parts and pieces. Everything that I used is linked in the description below, and I will be happy to give you dimensions and ways so that you can make this card as well. So I started with a piece of 4 1/4 by 11 of gray granite cardstock, and here it is. And the first thing I do when I get my paper and I'm getting ready to make a card is to score it in the middle, which it was scored at 5 1/2, and then I burnish it with my bone folder. So this is my card. Okay, and then I've used the Sun Prints paper, and this is a piece of 4 by 5 1/4, and it is our designer series paper. It's called Sun Prints. Isn't it beautiful? This is what the back looks like. This side I actually used yesterday on the card in a small piece, but this is gorgeous. This paper is beautiful. So we're going to use this side today, and we're going to attach that on there. Now, I did mention that I used the Stylish Shapes dies, and I used the squares. So let me show you. This set of squares right here, this big one, and then the next one down, if you put them together and you cut them out at the same time, you can make a frame. And I made this really cool frame. I thought it was awesome. And that is our focal piece right here. That's where we're going to put all of our floral elements in that frame. So that's how I did that. I cut both of those, the largest and the next one down, together at the same time. So I got this really cool stitched frame. So let's move on from there. Okay, so we'll start with that. Let's go ahead and glue down our main paper, and then we will add the frame to the top, and we'll take it from there. I love the seal adhesive. It's super sticky and super awesome. So I hope that you will get yourself some, because if you've heard bad things about it, it takes a little getting used to, but my gosh, it's worth it because it is so sticky and nothing comes off when you use that. So it's well worth it. Okay, so let's go ahead and use our silicone mat. I'm going to flip over my frame. I'm going to use the multi-purpose glue, which is our green and white glue. That's another name for it, or Tombow multi-purpose. It is sold in my store, and it's also linked in the description below. Whenever I use this glue, I use my silicone mat, which is what you see underneath it. So you can get both of those from me in my online store. All right, so as you can see, I just did a very fine, thin line all the way around that frame. I'm going to pick it up with my tweezer, and I'm going to place it right about there. And you know, you do your best to center something, but you know, life is not perfect. I'm not perfect. And I'm just going to place it down, and this is a handmade card. Whoever gets it will be happy to have a card. So I am not sweating the small stuff, guys. Okay, so there is our frame. Looks pretty good so far. See how that gives you a nice focal point to work with? So now we're going to build this little kind of centerpiece. And excuse me, two of the main pieces are this stamp right here and this fern, and I stamped those in gray granite and I cut them out. They were stamped onto basic white cardstock. I just used scraps that I had lying around. And so those are our main pieces. And then the dies have these amazing little extra pieces. So you have these, and then you have these little smaller ones. And the smaller ones are awesome. They give you 3 of them. So you have 1, 2, 3 of those. They give you 2 of these. They're the exact same, so you can cut multiples. So I cut some in white and I cut some in gray granite. So I have 1 white and 2 gray granites. And then of the small ones, I cut 2 gray granite and 2 white ones. Okay. And then of course, I cut my little banner frame here. So these are going to be the pieces that we are going to use, and we are going to put these into this main focal. But what I want to do first is go ahead and stamp my banner piece, because it needs that on there first before we can glue it down, right? So let me grab a scrap paper, because I'm going to be going off the edge. You'll see in a minute. So I'm going to grab my gray granite, and I'm going to move my card out of the way. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the sentiment. It says best wishes and happy thoughts. And I have it on the same block as this fern, but that's okay. You can use multiple stamps on multiple blocks. So I'm going to move this down a little so I can see what I'm doing. Hopefully you guys can see, and I'm still in camera. I am. Okay. So I'm just going to line this up, and I'm going to kind of put it right there in the middle. Best wishes and happy thoughts. Just like that. All right, and so I'm going to put this to the side. I'll clean it in a minute, but I'm going to use this really cool splatter. And that's how I created that on my banner. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to start in this corner. I'm going to put that larger one there. And then I'm going to bring this one and put it in this corner. And then I'm going to do just the small ones kind of on the side here like that. I'm going to do another one in this corner. And I think I'm going to do some this time along the bottom, but just the small ones. So kind of like just some small dots. And then I want to add a couple more dots on this side. So I'm just going to hit that side of the stamp that has those dots, because I really like how they just give it a distressed look. All right, let's go ahead and stamp the inside while we have it out. I'm going to use that splatter stamp and this really cute flower. So I'm going to grab the card, put the banner piece out of the way, and I'm going to start with my flower. I'm going to ink that up in my gray granite, and I'm going to put it right there. And then I'm going to take my splatter stamp, and I'm just going to put it right there. Looks good, right? I did it upwards this time. Last time I did it down. And then we're going to use the ink one more time. I'm going to sponge it on the piece that I have embossed with that fern. So I'm going to just bring it here. And then we'll clean everything at the same time. So I'm going to grab some ink, and I'm just going to rough this across just to help pull out the color in those ferns and the dimension in them. Just going to add that in just like that. And then this is going to get glued inside. So let's just go ahead and do that. I'll clean my stamps, and then we'll glue that to the inside. So to clean my stamps, I use this chamois, and I like to kind of purge some of the ink, especially like on this stamp that has that big blot. These are outlined or not as much. And you hear that squeaking, it's kind of separating and pulling that ink onto the pad. The cool thing is that it does not dirty your hands. So pretty cool. All right. So let's get those stamps out of the way. We're going to glue this on the inside. I'm going to get rid of that. Also, I love to use scrap paper for that reason. I'm going to put some wet adhesive along this edge. And then we'll glue this on the inside. And then we'll be ready to work on that focal point on the outside. The inside will be put to bed. Okay, so let's go ahead and put the fern right here. I'm going to make sure that it's butted right up against that seam at the top and on the side. I'm going to press that into place. And I got a little bit of adhesive on the back when I was trying to move that, so I will erase my adhesive. And then I'm going to go ahead and trim this end. It's a little extra there. There we go. Tiny piece. Oh, it looks like I got a little bit more right here. Okay, other than that, I think we're good. This is good now. Yeah. All right. Let's get rid of that. All right, let's work on our main focal piece now. So this is our main piece. It's going to go right here in the center. Well, a little bit lower than center. And we're going to attach things to the back. So first what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a little bit of this wet adhesive. And I'm going to kind of create a little scene here. And I'm just going to keep laying it down as I do that to make sure that everything's where I want it. I'm going to start with these two big pieces first because they are the main sections. And I want to make sure that that sticks out nicely. Okay, so that is how that's going to go. And then I want to fill in the gaps. Okay, so I'm going to put a little one of these white ones in the corner. Let's grab this one. They're going in two directions, so I want to make sure I have one that has the heaviest side there. Good. And I'm going to stick that right there. And then I'm going to put a long one, maybe this gray granite one in the center. So I'm just kind of building a little, I don't know, flower garden, I guess. And let's put this one next on this one side. And then that's the top, and then we'll work on the one corner because then I chose to use a corner for the focal. So that's that. Let's see how that looks. Oh, awesome. Love it. Okay. So now down in this corner here, we're going to add those pieces. And then the final is going to be to attach this onto the card, the whole thing as a whole. So let's go ahead and figure out where I want the pieces. It looks like the way I did this one is I put the two larger pieces on the bottom and then these were on the top on the opposite colors. So we can start with that. Let's start with the gray granite. And I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive on the corner, on the edge there. And then I'm going to put that down here, kind of under the B of best, leaving a little room. And then we'll do the white one, same way. And all of these pieces were cut with scraps of cardstock, so just letting you know. Save those scraps because I use them for die cuts and things like this because I just think it's awesome. All right, so there's that one. Let me make sure it's gonna fit. Oh, so far so good. It looks beautiful. And then we're gonna put these smaller ones on the top. So I'm just gonna kind of peel that back a little and tuck that in. And I'm gonna do the same on the other one. Peel it back a little and tuck this part in. I like using this wet glue because it stays tacky for a little while and you can do things like that. All right, so there's the corner. And now we have our whole little setup. That's what it's gonna look like. So we wanna lift this up with some dimensionals. So I'm flipping that over and I'm gonna grab my dimensionals. And I'm gonna start with my main banner piece. That is my focus. So I'm gonna use these larger dimensionals. I'm gonna make sure that my pieces don't shift because I definitely want them to stay how I had them. And I'm gonna put down onto my banner and really secure it. And by putting these dimensionals on these pieces, it also helps to hold them in place. So now my main banner is set up. And so the only other place I'm gonna put dimensionals is on the white pieces. So if there's a larger area, I'm gonna use the bigger dimensionals. And then for the smaller areas, I'm gonna use the minis. So let's put those in there. I do like to make sure that on the edges that I have stability. All right, and let me put one right here, one right here. All right, I think I'm good now. So let's go ahead and pull the backs off of these. I use my Take Your Pick tool to do that. So I'm going to start pulling the backs off of those. And after you have about 4 or 5 on there, you want to purge them into the trash can because it can only hold so many of them before it stops wanting to hold them. So then that defeats the purpose of using these because you don't want them in your trash, right? You don't want them on your craft room floor or on your kitchen floor or wherever you choose to craft in your basement or... All right, so now I have them all off and I'm gonna set this in place. Oh, this is beautiful. I just love this card. So I'm gonna move this right in place. Let's see, a little bit more this way. I'm so happy with how this looks. Perfect. All right. What do you guys think? I think it's pretty awesome. Let's put our embellishments on. And I chose to use the Brush Metallic adhesive backed dots. And you get the gold and the rose gold and this like brassy color. I don't think it says the colors, but I really like this brassy color. I thought it went really, really well with the gray granite. So I'm gonna use 2 large ones. Put one in this corner and one in this corner. And then I'm gonna add a small one over here near this little vignette of the small flowers. Okay. We'll put these guys away. These are awesome embellishments though. If you don't have them, you can check them out. I am linking them in the description below, so you should be able to find everything you need there. And I think the card turned out fabulous. What do you guys think? I hope that you enjoyed watching me put it together. I loved having you here. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought. I am so grateful that you watched me. And if you are here till the end, you made it and we are done. Please feel free to share this video to your Pinterest. I do recommend that because it is a great way to find the videos. So if you hit the share button at the bottom of the window and you click Pinterest, it'll take you to your Pinterest. You might have to sign in if you're not signed into Pinterest. And then you choose what board you want to put it on. And then once you've chose your board, you can come right back to the video. And you just throw it on the board. And then next time you want to make this card, it's on your board and it's easy to find and you don't have to search through my entire YouTube channel. I do post about 5 videos a week, so I do have a lot of content for you, and that way it won't get buried. I appreciate you guys being here. Thanks again for watching. This is Kelly with Inky Hands Warm Hearts. Happy stamping!